Stop the cap.
God, you all are so stupid. The problem is not men's old school view of things. The problem is women's new school view of things. That's what the problem is. I wish that you all would understand. And I'm talking to black women right now. I wish that you all understood that if you really want to slam black men, if you really want to, hold black men's feet to the fire, and I'm saying not presenting the ridiculous like win a race war or some stupid shit like that. No, if you really want to slam them, again, play your feminine role, be in your femininity, and then charge the men with everything that you want. But y'all don't do that. Y'all out here trying to play these hybrid situations, pull your dick out, right? You want things to be flexible and fluid on your side, and then it's not flexible and fluid on the men's side. Men is not allowed to be. And then you talk all this 50-50 nonsense, right? You say, oh, it's okay for this, it's okay for that. I know men that sit around and they co-sign that bullshit because they think that they're getting over and doing that. Situations where, the woman wants to be in charge, and this is what comes with being in charge, and then later on they're bitching, right? Because they can't kick their feet up and be taken care of and be a stay-at-home wife. I'm like, chick, you wanted 50-50 because you didn't want him to be in charge. You didn't want him, to tell you what to do. So you got into a 50-50. This is what comes with the 50-50, and you will be operating on this for the rest of your life. But no. Y'all come through and you argue for the 50-50 situation, and then at the 11th hour you change your mind and you want to switch up because inevitably you get tired of carrying, the 50-50. If you're serious about there's a paradigm shift and you're mixing in, we need to end patriarchy, and then we need to sprinkle LGBTQ and all this other stuff on it, and you want it to be where your husband can be in his feelings and be feminine. Understand what's going to come along with that. It's going to be a whole bunch of shit that you don't like. Okay? Dudes in their feelings don't have the mentality of making the ultimate sacrifice for women and shit like that. He's gonna be in the corner fucking crying because he didn't learn how to control his goddamn emotions. That's what's gonna happen when some shit pops off. Okay? Some shit pops off and he's gonna run. He's gonna leave you there because hey bitch, you're not as fast as me. Shit like that. Is that gonna make you hot and bothered? Is that gonna make you wet? Probably not. The other things that end up happening, you can get these guys agree to the 50-50 shit, and then you turn around and you see so the black man's now operating on this 50-50 bullshit, right? But he's not telling you what to do. He doesn't control you, right? So he's operating on the 50-50. You're working, he's working, right? You think everything's good. What ends up happening is you all go out here and then you see, the white Christian male somewhere, right? And he'll be in a better position than your husband. And then you start to, have buyer's regret. You start seeing all the nice shiny things that Becky has. Now you want the same thing, right? But you didn't get a man that has that type of drive. You got a man that was cool with 50-50, right? So now you're bitching because you don't have an Escalade or some shit like that. Now you're bitching. Now you're looking at him like he ain't shit. And usually, when that happens, you're gonna make him feel that. And what ends up happening is, he's getting angrier and angrier and more resentful, and he has his own, regret that he's dealing with, and then it gets to the point where usually, this is what powerless people do, it gets to the point where now he wants to dominate you physically and he's putting hands on you, because that way is a way that he actually can dominate. He can be broke as fuck and put hands on you and show you who's boss in his mind, right? Because he's trying to, counter, the shit that he agreed to. I don't know why you all can't see the shit for what it is. Why you want to fight with this, right? You go and you want to enter these, 50-50, quasi role reverse relationships and shit like that. And the thing is like, from the male perspective, right? Fuck it. Let's go with this. Let's not be condescending and put it down and all that other stuff. Let's go with the idea that you want to have these fluid ass fucking relationships and everything else. Okay. What is the man allowed to give up, right? What is he allowed to give up? I mean, do you honestly think that you're going to be able to give him just all of the responsibility that a man would have underneath patriarchy and none of the benefits? None of the acknowledgement, none of the power, none of the authority, none of the benefits. He literally gains nothing adopting to this new paradigm shift. He has all the same responsibility. You think he's going to go for that? Again, you want to be fluid. You want to change your traditional role as a woman in the household and everything. Okay, fine. You want to go out there and be a boss bitch and swing your dick around when you come home? Okay, fine. Okay, what does he get to give up? Not only that, what does he get to give up that's a part of, patriarchy? What does he get to give up that you're perfectly okay with? Right? That's not going to affect the way that you see him, the way that you view him, the way that you're attracted to him. See, this is where women have the struggle. Men are not the ones in conflict here. You all are. You all are. I see a masculine woman. I don't like a masculine woman. I don't want a woman to be masculine. I used to date a chick, she was a Hispanic woman, and, she was a chef, and she cooked. Let me tell you, I didn't particularly care for the fact that sometimes she would have second and third degree burns on her hands and fingers. That wasn't sexy to me. I wanted a girl that just all soft, all feminine, smell good all the time. You know what I mean? She was cute, but in the back of my mind, it was part of it where, I kind of took a little bit of issue with the fact that, she had some burns and I got a Band-Aid on her finger. Oh, why? Oh, I burnt myself. Right? Because she was, rushing in the kitchen. Not like cooking at home, where, you might have sliced your hand cutting tomatoes or burnt yourself on the stove. That doesn't happen as common as somebody that's a chef. So let's not play stupid. You know what I mean? But that was something that, kind of bothered me a little bit, but, I accepted it. You know what I mean? But what are you all willing to accept? It's like you want men to walk into homosexuality and act like, it's perfectly okay because you're so focused on the power dynamic. And then you're totally turned off. And then what's going to happen is what inevitably happens, because again, black women have been advocating for strong independence, diva queen, all this other shit. Y'all try to, and then when you get called out on it, you try to make it like, oh, we had to because, oh, the black man was so weak and this, that, and the third, and you want to cover up the reality of the fact that you all have been dodging men that have their shit together. You know what I mean? And again, I'm the worst one to try to pull this shit on, because this is what my mother did. Miss taking obey and to serve out of her vows. You see what I'm saying? And there's things that my mother complains about as it pertains to my father. I'm sitting there like, I don't want to hear it, bitch. This is what you signed up for. You wanted this. You wanted to be in charge. So don't sit there and complain. And same thing with my father. Sometimes he'll get the bitch, and I'm like, hey man, you wanted to be in the passenger seat. You wanted to, you was on some, oh, I'm comfortable. Oh, it's good. Let me big up my wife and everything else like that. And let me tell you, it's not a good feeling. It's not a good feeling, as a man, when you retire first because you're older than your wife, and then your wife is essentially still, the chief breadwinner, you know what I mean? And then now you got, your tired body. Your body is no longer able to do the thing. So even if you wanted to reverse and say, oh man, I don't like this shit, let me go back out there in the workforce. You can't do that shit as a senior citizen. It's not going to happen like that. You know what I mean? I mean, ageism when it comes to job opportunities comes into play. Hold on a second. Damn, I forgot what I was saying. But it's like, I just don't know how fluid y'all want it to be. Okay, like let's set the parameters. Let's set it up. Let's run the scenarios, run the simulations. Okay. So basically, you all want You want to go out here, you want to be strong, independent, queen diva, boss babe black women, right? And you're in corporate America and you're making six figures, and you're going to go out here and you're going to find, a black man that's, making the same amount, right? And you all are going to have your 50-50 relationship, right? Completely ignoring the fact that, he can go out there and with his six figures go and date down and find a chick that's twice as hot and, all the whatever other criteria he's looking for. But again, you want to come with the, my looks don't matter and we're equally yoked and, I'm successful, he's successful, and I mean, what's not to love, right? Okay, so fine. We're running that scenario. Okay, y'all get together and y'all going to have your 50-50 relationship. Okay, and y'all going to build together, right? You go out here, you're going to build together, and everybody's just going to be happy and live happily ever after. Okay, so does that mean that the community complaints are going to stop? I guess both of you are going to be, sacrificing your weekends, to build up the community and fix the things that, black women have, identified. I mean, these were the things that you used to basically say that black men are unfit to lead, right? So I assume that in this 50-50 world, right, you're still pro-black community and you want to fix the community and whatnot. So you and your husband will be sacrificing every other weekend to do things in the community after you get off from work, right? That's how this is going to work, right? And he's not telling you what to do, right? He's not taking charge, right? But I have this sneaky suspicion that you're still going to want him to take on the lion's share of these community responsibilities. I still have the sneaky suspicion that you're going to compare and contrast him against all the other patriarchal males in their respective communities that have, full control, which is why they take on full responsibility. I still have a sneaky suspicion that it's someday you're going to wake up on the left side of bed and get to bitching and then call your husband weak and say that anytime you don't get something that you want out of a situation, because again, he's only bringing 50-50, right? He's only coming with his 50%, right? So he's not going above and beyond. He's not creating a comfortable environment, right? It's a 50-50 environment, right? The environment is only as good as the both of you can put together, which, again, neither one of you can actually survive with this lifestyle on your own, right? You're living a $100,000 lifestyle on, a $200,000 lifestyle on $100K a piece, right? So, right, you're living comfortably, you're living good, right? But you couldn't live that lifestyle, independent of one another, right? That's how it's supposed to work. And if the relationship falls apart and you have to downsize, right, we're not going to hear any bitching or shaming or rhetoric about, what black men aren't doing, and we're not going to hear any comparisons about how Becky divorced her man and she took half and walked away with 1.3 million or some stupid shit, or she got the house and whatnot, right? We're not going to hear any of this stuff, right? We're not going to hear any of the complaining about how some other race of woman gets to be a stay-at-home mom, or at least has the option of being a stay-at-home mom, right? We're not going to hear any of those complaints if the relationship fails, right? Right? Because it's 50-50, and again, the whole purpose of 50-50 is for egalitarian and equality purposes, right? Right? That's how this shit is gonna play out. I'm just saying, I have a sneaky suspicion that the level of productivity for these 50-50 black men is going to be expected to be identical to the other races of men that operate on like 80-20 or 100-0, right? I have a sneaky suspicion that the 50-50 black men are going to be expected to produce the same level of productivity as these other races of men that are highly incentivized and highly motivated, right? Because they get, the reward, they get the acknowledgement, they get the title, they get the recognition, and they have to be listened to and followed, right? Right? I'm just saying. That's what I think, is going to happen, when you all, get the whole community to agree to these sorts of, scenarios, because you're just so anti, follow a black man. I mean, seriously, like, what? I want to hear it. Write it in the comment section. I want to hear what it is that you're going to allow these black men, to give up, and what shaming tactics you will no longer be using, because you can't use, the 100-0 model of old school traditional patriarchy with the stay-at-home, Quaker mom on the prairie, right? You can't use that if you've entered a 50-50 agreement. You can't shame men with what other patriarchal men are doing when you don't believe in patriarchy. You believe in 50-50. And a lot of you, I don't really think you know what comes with 50-50. I don't think you even think about it. You somehow think that you're going to create this scenario where black men either take on 100% of the burden and have no control, or somehow take on 50% of the burden, only 50%, right? And you're carrying the other 50%, and that he's still going to somehow magically be just as driven as the other races of men that are operating on that, either 80-20, 70-30, or 100-0, dynamic. I don't, like, every time we have these discussions, y'all want to act like I'm talking Greek or I'm talking in some other fucking language and shit. Like, you can't understand that, if you want to change the dynamics, that there's going to be an equal and opposite reaction. And then again, I could flip it on the dudes. I'm like, yeah, okay, man, 50-50, all that other shit. Okay, well, 50-50, chances are she's not going to be spending as much time in the gym trying to look good for you. 50-50, again, she's in the trenches just like you. You know what I mean? Like, all that, I want a steak dinner cooked for me and some other, traditional shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know this shit. Come on, man. I'm freaking people texting me bullshit. I'm just saying, like all that stuff. You know what I mean? She may not look the best. You know what I mean? She may not be the most feminine. Her weight probably will be out of order, right? Because that's what comes with the 50-50, right? There's drawbacks on either side, right? And I don't want to hear none of these snap their fingers, fucking spoken word motherfuckers talking about, no, brother, it's supposed to be 100. Like, shut the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, like, how is this supposed to unfold? Because y'all just seem hyper focused on what's your goal? To make sure that this motherfucker can't tell me what to do. Okay, that's your goal, is to make sure he can't tell you what to do. Got it. I understand. I'm with you 100%. Got it. Okay. Do you know what comes with him not being able to tell you what to do? You know what comes with that? And then, with the 50-50 scenario, a whole community of men on the 50-50, man, you can pretty much forget about him having the drive and the conviction to go out there and compete in the global marketplaces against other races of men. I've seen the 50-50 shit. That shit, nah, that shit doesn't work. Those are the husbands that get real quiet when they get around other men that are making moves and don't have to ask their wife permission before they make a major decision. They just go out there and do it, right? Because they're competing in a world of men, a hostile environment of men. But, y'all want to create 50-50 because, you don't want to have to, do X, Y, and Z off of a nigga say so, like that woman said in that video, right? Y'all really don't understand the Franken nigga situations that you all create with this. But, I can't argue. I can't make you see it. I can't make you see it, but I damn sure don't want to hear your bitching after you create these type of situations, and then you get these sorts of outcomes where you're angry and frustrated because, you know, you can't kick your feet up like Becky does. I don't want to hear that shit. But anyway, I ran the scenario. I said what I said. Y'all can, you know, sit around and pontificate and tell me. I mean, I really wanted this shit detailed, how this shit is supposed to work. What is it that the black man is going to be able to give up? What are we able to we don't have to do that no more. Oh, okay. All right. Oh, we're not being compared to other races of men anymore. Oh, okay, cool. And I'm saying on the flip side, you know, to keep things fair and equitable, yeah, there's going to be a whole bunch of shit that I'll tell you right now, I personally won't like. But I'm saying in this 50-50 world, no, men cannot complain about, you know, oh man, how come she don't look like she came off the cover of a magazine? Because women that look like they came off the cover of a magazine typically are taken care of. You know, all that shit is paid for. You know, so anyway, y'all can type away in the comments section. Let me know what you think. That's my video. SWP out. Don't forget to comment, share, like, and subscribe.
I personally don't think that men should have opinions on what women wear. That's just me. Like, you're not my father, you're my boyfriend. You're not my father, you're my husband. That's just me, right? But I do understand certain religions and certain values and certain standards.
Okay. So I'm not saying that all men. Don't get me wrong. I don't want anybody to be confused into thinking that I'm suggesting that all men know what they're doing. I'm not saying that all men have, you know, good leadership skills or even know where they're going. I'm not saying all men. What I am saying, though, specifically, is that when you come across, like you said, headstrong women who may have some degree of a foundation established or not, right. Men who are taught to do the right thing do not recognize women as the rock in the foundation. They are. Okay, that's all I'm trying to say. I'm not saying it's right.
Wow. Yeah, because I'm a very headstrong woman, and I've been headstrong since the day I was born. Even my father couldn't get to me. Nobody, no man can get to me.
Okay, so
you know what I'm saying? And I understand what that means because now here's the question: what if it's a headstrong woman?
Then you go back to what I said yesterday.
You just said the problem.
In other words,
I have to stop. Men who are raised don't think that women are.
Let me say this. I have to put this on record. I run my family. I'm just going to come out and say that shit. I run my shit. I run my family. My husband is the extension of running the family, but I run my family.
Okay.
When it comes to decisions, I have the last say so.
Okay, Don. So you asked me yesterday. What happened?
I have the first say so.
Okay, so here's what I'm saying. You asked me yesterday, what does a man do when he comes across that woman? And I told you, he stops his pursuit and he has to pursue someone else.
No, that nigga falls in line.
Pardon me?
Like a grown-ass man who sees the benefit of the situation falls in line. He assumes his position. He becomes the king of the fucking household. Men do not become kings in other people's castles. They build their own. That's the dumbest shit I've ever heard. You serious?
Okay.
So you're saying queens? Hold on. So you're totally neglecting the entire aspect of the fact that the king's position in most matriarchal society is given to him because of the fucking queen.
Oh wait, I'm sorry.